Listen only. Who's here? Just us three?
Yeah, that's it. So I was going to get James come out, but he's got company tonight, and I said, "Screw the company," and he says, "No, I can't do that." So,
Why is my
and,
picture showing in here? Did you put that up?
yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. I thought that. Well, damn, what's my picture? I thought I hit something on the computer to bring that. Okay, I'm good.
I put that up. I put this up, and I put this up, and but I'm really curious about this picture. What was that? Was that going back to a workshop or something like that?
Yeah, that was that's Warren's workshop down
All right.
in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, cool.
It's been about 5 years ago. I had
Oh,
a
that's old.
lot of fun down there. Yeah, we had a great time down there.
So, yeah, I was just telling Randy's wife. She said hello a minute ago.
Oh,
And
hey, hot chick.
Yeah, you missed Laura.
Oh, I saw her. I just didn't get to talk to her.
So I was telling her we were talking about Costa Rica, and I was telling her that I was thinking about having a workshop conference sort of thing in Costa Rica. And it's something I've always wanted to do.
That'd be great.
And, I was talking to Warren. We had a good chat there about 6 weeks ago. I called him up and we chatted for quite a while. He loves teaching. So I said, well, maybe we'll do something in Costa Rica. So it's good to hear that you have those good things to say about him because, yeah, that's important.
Oh, you've not been to one of his webinars or anything?
Well, yeah, I hosted a million webinars with him, and I had him come and speak twice, Toronto and in Nashville.
Yeah, he's in Nashville.
Warren's great. I really like Warren. He's a buddy. I call him every now and then, talk to him on the phone.
Cool. There you go. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
So okay, that settles that. That's what that picture is all about. I was just curious. I saw it there, and I thought, well, it's from a conference or something. It looks like it's near an ocean somewhere, and it's probably you probably need to update it there, Neil.
If you look at the website, the newest thing on there, other than saying I'm going to update soon, is like 2013. So,
okay,
that was about the time Mama moved in with me.
Okay,
Rob, go back to my site.
Right here.
Go to the commercial work.
Bum, bum.
It's underneath the logo.
Oh, here. I was looking here under the big titles. I like your site. It's like really wow.
Yeah.
That's really got a lot of impact. It's like a photography site. So, Sartin Photo. So it's the same website?
No.
It's different. What's going on?
So this is my commercial photography site. Right. Another one's my sports photography.
Yeah. So is that new or what?
No, that's actually the first website. That's Sartin Photo there.
Okay. You didn't want to go with lens cap?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Pretty good one.
I can't let that one go.
A good one.
We're being recorded, by the way, guys. Just so you know, it's been recorded the last 5 minutes. This is the way I roll it. Podcasts. We just start shooting shit and go. Very, very random. I don't know if you've watched or listened to any of the ones I've had with James and Judy, but we've been doing these for about 6-7 months now, and it kind of came up just out of the blue. James was like, "Yeah, let's do a podcast. Let's just shoot the shit." He thought, "Let's just do one of these and talk," and I'm thinking, "Yeah, let's record it and put it out there because that's where my brain goes right away." So we got Judy on it, and it was really a lot of fun. It was quite cool. And so we've been doing them routinely ever since. And he's the one that, last week he's like, let's do another one. So I was like, schedule the date. And he's like, no, I got to go fishing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it anyways. I don't have to have James or Judy all the time. Let's have somebody else who's a lot of fun. Who do I know? And I said, I like those guys down from Atlanta and from Knoxville. They're good guys. Got a lot of history with those guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I been meaning to tell you, Tom's wife has cancer.
Tom
Giesler.
From the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he does. I hope that works out okay for him. That's awful, man. Is he still teaching there?
Yeah, he still does the two big classes, Fundamentals 1 and Fundamentals 2, but we're all frustrated with the staff there and the way they want to do things and don't want to do things. And
so. Are you still teaching or?
I didn't teach last summer. I want to try. I was thinking about trying to teach this summer. I don't know if it works out for me. It'll work out. I mean, there's no money in it at all.
No,
So
just
I
like
don't
there's
know.
no money in photography.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
It's debatable. It's debatable. There is, but there isn't. I mean, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. When was the last time you taught at University of Tennessee photography? When was it a couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2 summers ago. Well,
Okay.
it'd be summer of 2016.
Okay, well, it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
So my question is then, you got all these kids, and I say kids, I just always say kids, but there's people of all ages that go take this photography program. Do they go in there thinking like they got these high hopes they're going to get into photography and start making lots of money and all that kind of stuff?
No, I actually asked that as part of the introduction to the class is who here is interested in trying to make a living out of photography?
Right.
And everybody's like, nah, no, not us.
Okay, they're just there to learn to be a better photographer. Yeah. All right,
But
cool.
funny enough, 2 people that took that class, we wound up hiring them.
Yeah.
That's
kind of ironic.
Last year. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Back when I was teaching at the college up a little ways from here, the classes there started off about 45 kids in the class, and by the time they got to the final year, which was a 2-year program, there was about a third of the people left in there.
Nothing personal, right, Neil?
No, that was happening before I got up there.
Okay. I thought it was you.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do a couple of career day presentations at the local high schools. Grade 10 students. The cops show up, the doctors and optometrists and all that stuff, and lawyers, and I'm the photographer. So I tell the kids, I go like, there's no career path, man. There's no career path. If you want to get into photography, don't take a photography course, take a business course, learn marketing, learn it on YouTube. So
that would be it. Yep.
Yeah. So I try and discourage them right off the bat. If anybody wants to get into a structured, safe and secure job, career path ain't going to happen. It's not there. So, but you guys know I do a lot of webinars every month. I'm always doing webinars. And for the most part, 9 out of 10 or higher, 95, 98% of them are actively very successful in their photography business. And it's out there. And then, every once in a while, I remember especially it seemed to be further back, especially when the market was really heated between 2005, 2012. And it was really like inflated. It seemed to be the industry was really big. And a lot of photographers were starting to peter out, right? Their businesses was going away. So they were getting into teaching. So you can kind of tell those apart from the legitimate ones, and your kind of bullshit detectors kind of go up and boop, boop. Oh, wait a minute. But that conversation, by the way, is going absolutely nowhere. But I did want to mention one thing, and I got a couple questions for you guys. I did one of my webinars with a lady from Long Beach, California. I think it was her. It was a really big name. She spoke at PPA. If it wasn't her, it was somebody at her level. And she said that she was asked to go to, it had to be her because she was at the university of, some big university in Los Angeles. And all the photography students. So it's like a really famous program. My point being, she was really disappointed at the level of quality that the students were putting out. She was quite shocked, quite surprised that the students there were not. All right, I remember who it was. It just came to me. It wasn't a lady. It was Joe Grimes. You guys know Joe Grimes?
Yeah.
I got all these names going in my brain, and Joe Grimes, he was teaching, and he was like really disappointed when he went there. I think he did a presentation, or he was part of a print critique or something, I forget what it was. But
you did a webinar with him, right? You're talking about the webinar you did where he was talking about that? Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah. I've tried to catch them. I don't catch them live much anymore, but I'm glad you post them because I get them up and come out here to the shop and watch them sometimes. I enjoy those. Those are good. And I remember that one. Yeah.
That guy's a real go-getter, man. So but it's kind of sad, because, not to diss the millennials or anything like that, because a lot of them are really hardworking and very ambitious, but it seems to be in the photography industry, that aspect, at least in the academic side of things, seems to be waning. So if that's what's happening, it's not good. So which leads me to my question. Randy, you go first, because you're the young buck.
A little bit, yeah.
All that matters.
I think Neil is, if he's not retired, Neil, you're on the verge of maybe, I don't know, get to that minute. I don't know if you're still.
I'm kind of on an exit path right now. It looks like not always voluntarily, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed right now.
Yeah. You got a long history, decades of photographic service, and I know we've had you on webinars before, and you talked about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you had any formal training. But Randy, did you have any formal training? Because I remember way back when you got into it. What were you doing before, and so what sort of got you into it?
Well, I started off by a friend of mine had a Nikon D70 he was wanting to sell me, and I did not want to buy because I knew nothing about it. And he loaned it to me, and I took it to a race in Talladega and fell in love with the camera and got frustrated because I didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And finally stumbled across Tom's classes at UT.
Right. Okay.
About halfway through that first class, little light bulbs started going off, and bing! Oh, aperture. Now I get it.
You're teachable.
And, yeah. And then, so I took every class there I could take, and that's about the same time I joined OBS. I learned as much from OBS as I did anywhere.
Yeah.
And attended several different workshops around and learned a lot about lighting.
Okay, because you're really busy now, right? I'm assuming you're doing lots of that sports stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know where you get the energy.
It's not sports. Sports is not where the money comes from. It's mainly commercial stuff. The sports stuff that I'm shooting for USA Today and different universities and colleges, I just about consider that part of my marketing anymore, because everybody thinks it's a big deal that, you shoot for USA Today, University of Tennessee.
You must be good.
Yeah. I actually got a job once. I had a Sports Illustrated cover. It's not the one that's on top of the page right now. It's another one. And I went into this factory to quote doing a 2-day shoot, and they liked me. And she said, "I want to introduce you to the factory manager. We have to get 2 more estimates and all that." And I walked in, and his office was wall to wall University of Tennessee stuff.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, good to meet you. We'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah." And just so happened the Sports Illustrated issue that I had shot the cover of was laying on his desk. And I said, "What do you think about Torn Full being on the cover of that sports?" He said, "That's the coolest thing ever." "What do you know about that?" And I said, "Well, I shot that picture." And he's like, I said, "No, I did." He said, "Show it, prove it." I opened it up, showed him the credits. He said, "You're hired. When can you come do this shoot for us?" Me being on the sideline taking a picture of a running back has nothing at all to do with going into a factory and having gel lights and everything else that I wound up doing for him. But
it still matters. Obviously,
works. Yeah.
The affiliation meant a lot to that guy. So are you still doing that kind of stuff? I get where you're coming from, and to me, that story really exemplifies the point that it's there's no money in it, but it's, what was it you said? It's actually a marketing thing.
Yeah, it's marketing. It's it's cool. A lot of what I do is really, really cool. We won our basketball team won the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Last Saturday, and it was. I feel very privileged to have been there, let alone to be paid to be there, and had a blast and all that. But that same day, I made 5 times as much money as I made shooting the event, shooting for the actual university itself beforehand.
Okay. It's interesting. Now, when you got into this game, did you know that was going to happen, or did you just kind of figure that out as you went along?
I figured it out as I went along, and actually, the end of last year, I finally started doing a better job tracking my finances and did some different stuff with some computer programs and stuff, and looked at where my income was coming. And 25% of it was sports, and 75% of it was commercial work, pretty much.
Oh, really?
Like,
You didn't know that until you started measuring it.
not exactly, no. And of that 75%, that I had one client that was 50% of that, and that scared the heck out of me.
Why is that?
Well, they were 25% of my, 33% of my income came from one client.
So that made you nervous?
Yeah, it makes me nervous. So, it can go away in a heartbeat. And so I reached out to a few people. I do a lot of work for a marketing firm, reached out to them. He suggested I do this and do that. And I started doing this and doing that. And things started rocking and rolling. And then the one customer I was leery of having so many eggs in my basket with called and put me on retainer for a year. So now I'm really busy.
You're going like crazy. I've seen your schedule, man. I don't know how you do it. I was just like, wow. Or is it me? Like you put in some long days.
It's wow right now.
Yeah.
It's bad wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, sitting back and taking a look at everything and actually directing my marketing to particular industries and getting into video. I got drug into the video world kicking and screaming.
What the hell's that all about? Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, there's several people that do it, and one of my really good clients does a lot of video, and I've asked him for years and years and years. I'm like, hey, I need in on this. Especially,
wait a minute. When you say he does a lot of video, you mean
he's a public relations firm.
He buys video services.
Right, a lot.
Right. He doesn't do video as a product. He's
a marketing firm that, he gets a budget, spends $10,000 a month with company A promoting them in different ways.
Got it. And you're like, I can do that, even though you're probably full of shit. You probably can't, or you're going to figure it out.
This guy,
you got more balls than brains.
Well, this guy knows that too. He has a 4-year degree in photojournalism from some school in Chicago. So he's a damn good photographer in his own right. So I can't bullshit him.
Okay.
But we're really good friends. And he's like, one of these days I'm going to give you a shot at it. And
cool.
That shot came about 2 months ago, and
it just happened.
He was like, first video I sent him, of course, I was as nervous as I was the first time I posted a picture on No BS or something for critique. I was like, what's he going to say? What's he going to think? He calls me up and he says, why in the hell have I not been using you for video? I'm like, I don't know.
That made your day right there.
Yeah. So that on that phone call, he put me on one project that was 5 different video shoots that were just completed a couple of weeks ago. That's being put out on the airways now. So he's got a bunch more lined up.
That's really cool. Yeah. You remember, what's his name from California? What's the capital of California? Sacramento. What's his name? He was a photographer for...
Arnie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Bill.
Bill.
He got into video 7 or 8 years ago, and that's all he's doing now. He's going gangbusters. So there's opportunities there. I think a bit of a similar story to yours. I talked to him about a year ago. He's got a whole staff now, and he's going crazy. So this could grow for you.
Yeah.
Who is this y'all talking about? Bill who?
Wasserman? No, Bill.
It's like a 4-letter last name.
I think it starts with a W.
Foster.
Bill Foster.
Yeah. I know you're talking
about over that, weren't we?
Everybody, you just got to dig back into your memory there, and Bill Foster. Yeah. So so that's really cool, Randy. I'm curious as hell. but I admire your gumption for going after the guy, because that's, to me, how a lot of business works. You just gotta put your face in there. I mean, the way you connect the dots, right? You're doing a lot of sports, and the sports leads to commercial, and the commercial leads you to contacts with guys, and they see your pictures on the magazines and all that, and then you're like, I want to do the video for you, and the guy says, I'm going to give you a chance one day, and then he says that famous line, why didn't I hire you earlier? That's got to make your day, man.
It was great. It was great. I'm not doing, he's got another guy that actually worked on Hollywood films. He
Nice.
comes out with a whole crew and makeup and talent and, probably $100,000 worth of gear to do, a minute-long TV commercial. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing sit down video, interview, testimonial stuff.
So you're at the opposite extreme, but you're still going to deliver a good product.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just got to make a comparison if I can.
Okay.
Did you guys watch the webinar I had last month with James? I finally got him to do one on lighting.
Oh,
I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
All right, you got to watch this, man. This is good. So I drug him into it, and I said, James, we got to do this. And he's been clamoring. Yeah, I want to, he's like, he wants to go to more conventions and stuff. I can tell he wants to get out there and reconnect with the industry. And I'm like, okay, he's primed for a webinar, because he's got some good stuff. So go watch it, right? You'll see what I mean.
Love it. Yep.
So what was I going? Where was I going with that? I was shocked. So James is like industrial commercial mining. This is like really high-end stuff. Mm-hmm. These companies don't dick around, right? He's got to get certified, qualified. He's got to have safety. He's got to have the right gear. And he's got to go in and get the job done. There's no second chances. So, all right. And when I booked this with him, he says, I'm not going to show too much mining. He was like, that's sort of like not something I want to show. But he didn't go there. He showed all of it. He had a shitload of stuff. And I was shocked. At the level of lighting he uses. He shoots 100% JPEG and 100%. This totally breaks all the rules in the industry. 100% automatic white balance. Is that what it's called? AWB?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
His stuff is beautiful.
Yep.
So my point being this, and this is where the comparison I'm going to make to you as a videographer, he gets the job done. They don't care how he gets it done. He comes in, he gets it done under budget. There could possibly be a big, if not nowadays, there would have been about, you guys remember back in the old days, commercial photographers were really big.
Yeah.
If you had a commercial gig, it was like you had a whole team, man, and it was very expensive. Yeah. That sort of format, I don't even know if it exists anymore. I'm sure it does at some level in the bigger cities. But they're very, very complex shoots, and they involve assistants and designers and yada, 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 and they take a lot of time, and the expense of it is insane. That's where I'm qualifying the guy who you had just mentioned, Randy, who is the guy who had done the Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
He's like way up there. And so there's a place for him.
Yeah. And
there's a place for you. You deliver the product. You're probably, I don't know, 10 cents on the dollar.
Not that cheap, but yeah.
20 cents on the dollar. I mean, comparing to him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'd say one of his shoots is, in excess of $5,000 a day, I'm sure.
Yeah. So if he shoots $100,000 gig, you can do it in the same amount of time for $10,000.
No, I'm not doing it.
No, but if it's something that you could do, say if it's a 3-day shoot, you can do it.
He doesn't want to take his time and go do a 60-second video testimonial for somebody.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay. All right. That's the difference. Got it.
Yeah. He wants to do the big, real, cinematic, big time stuff.
So there's a place for you and there's a place for him.
Yep. James is going into those mines with, 3 cheap light stands and 3 Chinese flashes. And he's in and out in no time and rocking.
He gets a job.
Yeah.
And the stuff
I get a picture from him every night about 11 o'clock. My phone goes ding, and there's mining whatever the name of his company is, up pops.
Yeah.
It's always popping up and look at it. So I see his work every day.
And he puts something out about every day.
Yeah, and he got the marketing thing on that one down, and his work is great. I always love to see the comparisons that he puts in there a lot of times too. You know, before and afters, or cheapo and pro and whatever kind of stuff. You know.
But his stuff looks really high end. But he's a single guy shooting on his own, so he's a bit of a renegade. That's where my main point is you know, you sort of fit in the same area. You're not going in there with a team and a big Hollywood resume thingy thing. I'm going to guess there's a bigger market for where you would fit in.
Oh yeah, there is.
Especially when you think of all the smaller businesses that need video.
Yeah, and it's exploding. I mean, everybody wants a YouTube video.
Yeah. So this is just starting new for you. Okay, I got to ask you some technical questions if you don't mind.
All right.
You don't have to get into it deep. I'm just real curious. What kind of cameras are you using?
It don't matter. What do you want me to use?
Just give me the brand. Is it Sony, Canon?
Yeah. So I've used in the past 3 weeks. I've used Sony, Canon, and Nikon video cameras.
Geez, he's using them all.
It don't matter. It does not matter.
I got to tell you something. I'm a Sony shooter now, and I've been doing a lot of videos for my studio and whatnot. And I've been using the autofocus. I shoot it. I just turn the button to video, and it does an amazing job.
Yeah. So my primary camera is a Canon XA30. I'll back it up when I need a second camera with either a Canon 5D Mark IV or a Nikon D500. I try not to mix the brands because it looks a little bit different. It takes me a little harder to make them look the same, but it all works. A lot of what I do could be done with a $500 camcorder.
No kidding. What's that Canon you use?
XA30.
XA?
Yep. Love
That's a camcorder.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. You're all high tech, man. So you invested in one of those.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
About to invest in another one, I think, just so I can have 2 cameras the same all the time.
Did you just buy that for this gig, or did you always have it?
I rented it, and then I bought it at the end of the rental.
Yeah, because I know Canon likes to give you guys a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, no, this went through one of my secret Canon deals. It was all above board.
Yeah, is that the same system? Is that the same one Warren bought? Because Warren bought a camera to do dance schools, recitals.
There's a bunch of them out there, and they're just like, DSLRs. The more money you spend, the more bells and whistles you get.
Yeah.
I don't understand how to use much of anything above the XA30 yet, so I figured that's a good place to go.
Yeah. It looks complicated.
The audio is very important.
Yeah, I've always believed that.
I've probably spent as much money on audio as I have camera stuff.
Is Nothing that 4K works. Now?
What's that?
Is that 4K?
No. I think 4K is kind of an overrated hype thing. There's this guy named Spielberg. He did some kind of movies way back when at 720p, and they look pretty good. So, 4K is kind of like there's a use for it, but to me, it's a little bit like saying you got to shoot in RAW. There's even a 4K RAW, and people shooting that, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have enough space, and it takes too long to ingest." And
so you don't need 4K.
And I'm like, "Man."
Yeah, as long as the guy says to you at the end of the day, he's like, "Why didn't I hire you sooner?"
Yeah, that's all I need.
Not why the hell isn't this 4K?
But it is sort of, nobody's ever asked me, was this shot in RAW? I've never ever.
They never asked James either. Hey, what kind of audio are you using? Can I ask you about that one?
Yeah. So I have a Zoom H4 recorder.
H4.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, ZOOM. They're kind of the industry standard. They make an H1. I got one of those too. They're like $100. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who knew?
I got a bunch of wireless lav mics.
Did the wireless lavs hook up to these, or is that a separate system?
They can.
You don't use boom. You don't use booms, eh?
Yes, I do.
I like
sometimes.
booms.
Yeah. So with a boom, if you're just doing an interview, the lav mic, it doesn't even have to be wireless. It can be wired. I got one I bought for $25 off Amazon that I use all the time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I run it straight to the camera, and that way the audio is synced with the video, and you don't have to fool that in post.
You don't have to do that kush thing.
Right. Well, sometimes you do just because it's cool. And
just like shooting a gray card. Shooting a gray card, you do it because it looks cool.
I do that. I do that with video.
Oh, Neil's gone.
I'm just gonna get a Coke or something over here.
Yeah.
Neil's feeling left out here.
Yeah.
No. All about Randy.
I will literally shoot a gray card when I'm shooting video.
Yeah.
I just put it in there, and that's one thing I like is video. A lot of it's different, but a lot of it's the same. You know, white balance is white balance, light is light. Went to Amazon, spent I don't know $500 on LED lights and modifiers.
All right, that's not a lot of money for LED lights, like soft boxes and what have you.
Yeah, like see if I can do this. Watch out, I'm moving.
There it goes. Ah. What the hell?
Hell, he lit himself before he got in, huh?
He did.
A $99 light with a $20 softbox.
Did you see my $10 light? I got to show you this. I call this a Bride and the Mint special.
Oh, yes, it is. It is.
I've got some of those. Darn.
I just got it reflecting up in the ceiling here. But that's cool about the the video. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I've been around enough of it to sort of know how it worked and how to go about it. And then I really got around a lot of it with that one client that is so much of my income. They have a video guy on staff, and I was helping him out a lot. And I'm like, there's really nothing to this. I guess the biggest learning curve was the editing software.
Yeah.
It's
you doing all your own editing?
Yeah, you pretty much got to. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's a pain, but
that sounds painful.
Yeah.
What are you editing in? What program are you using for that?
The one you're supposed to use is Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
I can use it. I'm not real good at it. I got a lot of friends that are, and I'll call them, and sometimes they're like, just send me the damn thing and I'll edit it for you. And
you got good friends.
Yeah, they are. You can do a lot in Photoshop. I use it for a lot of editing, and I use iMovie.
Really?
iMovie?
Yep.
Isn't that like
it's like kindergarten baby Photoshop?
Yeah. Don't tell anyone. They're probably going to fire you. Are you shooting an iMovie? For real?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, for like basicer jobs?
Yeah, if you just got like cut up 2 or 3 clips and put in some background audio music.
Cool.
Couple transitions, title screen, closing screen, bam, done.
So you're shooting testimonial videos. I think I saw a picture you posted on Facebook, and it was a high key drop, was it?
Nah.
Or am I wrong there?
You're wrong there. I've posted some of them on Facebook. Go on my Facebook. There's one there.
Let's do that. Let's make that happen right now. I was doing one time, I'm not going to say any names, but I was doing a webinar once. And I was doing this sort of thing in a browser, and some porn showed up. It wasn't me. It was on their website. It was embarrassing.
Ooh.
Is this it?
No, that is the funniest video in the world.
It kind of looks like you. All right, hold on. Where are we here? Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, you got a badass haircut there.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
So there she is.
That was a shoot I did Saturday before I went to the basketball game.
There you are. Rambo. He drew First Blood. I watched that movie last year, the first movie. All right, where is it?
It should be the first thing I posted. It should be on top.
I didn't see it on top. Posts you haven't seen yet. All right.
Yeah, it's doing it weird.
Yeah. So are you still
Click on
shooting
my
a lot
videos. Click on my videos.
of? Okay. Are you still shooting a lot of? Are you still shooting a lot of sports and what have you?
Oh yeah, I
Like
shoot
this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I shoot every football game, every basketball game. Click on Randy's videos right where you were.
Yeah.
You've done
Right
Randy's
down
video.
there.
Right there. Nah,
Kids and bulls.
okay, I give up.
It's not there, is it?
No.
I think you're making everything up. I think you're just totally
I'm just making all this up.
all that you've been telling us is just
BS.
Rob Hoffman lies.
Whoa,
Oh,
You're the new Rob Hoffman.
who was that other guy? He was in Texas, I think.
Is there another Rob Hoffman or a story similar?
Yeah.
If anybody's watching this, Rob Hoffman was around, and he was just he turned out he was a psychopath, and he was just full of lies, fooled a lot of people, and it was actually Bill. It was Bill Foster who
outed him. Yeah.
He outed him. He found out.
Yeah, I paid him $500 for a seminar in Savannah.
Oh, you did, eh?
Hoffman, yeah. It's actually a pretty decent seminar, but it seemed a little odd, but it was one of those, in retrospect, you sort of figure it out. Oh, crap.
Well, he's a good photographer. That's the irony of it all. But he was a scam artist.
All right, check your Facebook in messages.
Well, I did, and it said I got a link that was attachment unavailable.
Good God.
People are seeing your comment, putting the leopard skin thong on.
All right. That's cool.
He said that because I said that your webcam's going to be on and you had to get dressed. And he was, I don't know. Anyway, so the videos that you were doing, describe them to us then. Just give us a bit of a sense of what you mentioned testimonial.
It's a testimonial for members of a home builders association who are encouraging other members of the home builders association to come participate as an exhibitor at the upcoming home show.
Okay. So it's a promotional, but sort of testimonial based promotional.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this is the only home show we do every year. It rocks. Okay. Make a ton of money off of it.
That's a powerful marketing strategy. So video is the delivery mechanism. So let me ask you this. Is it on location or in a studio setting that you shot these?
Well, they wanted to do it on location, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea because
why not? It would make a lot of sense.
No, they wanted to do it in the studio. I'm sorry. They wanted to bring them all in on the same day to a central location.
Why?
And I'm like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get the 5 people you want. The scheduling's going to be a pain.
That's what I was thinking.
And I want them, either if they got a good display in their showroom, I want to go there. If they're out on a construction site, I want to go there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So that's what
I agree. Neil's agreeing too.
Yeah.
That would give it a lot more personality and authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do then?
They gave me a list of people, and I started going down the list and calling them. And so, we're looking to do a 60-second video testimonial of your experiences, what the home show has done for your business. And they're like, oh yeah, sure.
So they did. were people being paid for that, or did they just do it?
No, they're members. They're members of the Home Builder Association.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's their time. Some of them might say, yeah, you got to pay me. But I would imagine most people would say, no, I'd do that for you, as long as you don't take up too much of my time. So you got to get in there, get out, right?
Yeah, yeah. And, everybody's, it's not like there's two things about video. A, you can charge more for it, and people don't blink an eye. And
right.
B, people are really excited about, they're more excited about doing a video than they are, like a headshot or something. So
that's freaking weird. Photography is getting pushed aside. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
I don't think that applies to weddings, though. People still like their still photography.
Yeah, I agree.
They just don't want to pay for it.
But it's not as cool as, a video shoot,
Are you saying video's cooler?
No, I'm saying, what's cooler? Get a headshot or, be on the video?
All right, you put it that way. But how many people would have gone and go to photograph or video an event like that versus, say, go photograph a football game? There's a way cooler factor in the football game and a lot of the sporting events.
I mean, there's literally 100 people I could think of off the top of my head that would take my place at a UT football game for free. So,
and they do a better job. Don't tell anyone.
Try your Facebook again. I sent you another link.
I'll check it out. But of course, photographing naked women, that's the best.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh, shit, look at that. There's nothing showing there. I think you're making up stuff again. Mr. Sartin is making up stuff again.
Must be a Canadian thing.
Could be the connection. We got gremlins.
So that's the other thing that's, get off video for a minute. The other thing that's really been good for me is, how James is a niche photographer in a niche market.
Yep.
I know how big mining is where you all are at, but in the grand scheme of the big wide world, there's a whole lot more car dealerships than there are mines, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, he's identified and gone after the exact market that he wanted, and he loves being underground and all that because it's like as cool as being at a football game, and he's done very well with that. So I fell into doing all this work for the fitness equipment manufacturers, and
I saw that.
That's been good. So now I'm concentrating on that because I'm shooting for one of the big players in the industry. I think I mentioned to you, I'm doing like James just did a few days ago. I'm going out to their biggest trade show in San Diego in 2 weeks just to hang out and look around and talk to people.
You're doing it on your own dime just to connect?
Yeah, sort of. We got an arrangement worked out, but yeah, there's money coming out of my pocket. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, but they're pitching in or something.
Yeah.
San Diego. So when are you going down there?
Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, so the 18th, I drive to Hilton Head. I shoot for 2 days at a tennis academy, and Wednesday,
he's doing tennis as well.
Yeah, and it's not like a tennis thing. It's a tennis school that I shot at. This will be my third time shooting it.
Did you yell at Mikhail?
Yeah, and he is in. He confirmed that today.
Good.
And then Laura's dropping me off on the way back in Chattanooga. I'm flying out of Chattanooga to San Diego for 2 days, then I fly back into Knoxville.
So do you get any sleep in there at any point in time? No,
probably
just
not.
Go. You're like
Neil just mentioned something else too, and this gets back to the whole networking and knowing people and blah blah blah. Do you remember Mikhail from the forum?
No.
Mikhail Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what his handle was, but yeah.
Yeah. So Neil got me hooked up with him. I don't know, I was thinking 3, maybe. I don't know.
It may be 3. Hell, I'm getting old.
It's
I
like,
can't remember years anymore.
yeah.
It's
I was
all a
like,
blur.
I need somebody in this area can come help me. And on this big sheet, it's a big for me, high dollar sheet.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he hooked me up with Mikhail. Mikhail came out, and I kind of used him as an assistant the first year. And the second year, I used him more like a second shooter. And
Right.
want to do the same thing with him again this year. So the
Cool.
connections you make through the forums and stuff are invaluable.
So, are you on any Facebook groups? Either of you guys?
Yeah, I'm on several now.
Yeah.
For your niches?
Yeah, niche. For me, it's mostly they call it volume photography now instead of just T&I. So discovered that a year ago, and got there's half a dozen groups, and a lot of the crossover the same people, in several of those groups. But it lets you know how big a niche that's turned into. It's not so much niche anymore.
It's pretty big, is it?
Oh yeah, it's huge, and everybody's reinventing the wheel again. I try to give them some advice every now and then on here's how things happen, whenever I was doing it, and everybody's still in there trying to reinvent the wheel and helping everybody else. But there's a lot of good networking going on too that I've found helpful. Some things have helped me out, and I just try to help other folks a little bit as you can. But they let you know what used to be a small niche market, and you could be a kind of a big wheel in a small pond kind of thing for years. Now everybody's into it, so it's a hell of a competitive area to get into, because there's good money in volume photography if you can get it. It's getting it's the problem.
Really, it's hyper competitive, because I don't hear that complaint from a lot of other people in a lot of other industries, and even Randy's not complaining about the competitiveness. At least I haven't heard that from him. No. I certainly am not. It's not a big deal for me. Not a big deal for James, although he gets up in arms and for no reason. I think he's like, you got nothing to worry about there, buddy. But in that field, why do you think it's so hyper competitive?
Well, people have discovered that it's easy to make pretty good money in one lick.
All right.
And when I got into it, and into a niche in it back in the mid '80s, I guess, it was kind of like your stuff is now. With these things y'all are getting into, it was all new and fresh, and I went in and I never even advertised. For 20 years, all I did was word of mouth advertising. Didn't really have to, because I had so much of it, and it was great. Good times back then.
So is there a bullshit factor that you see with all of these people trying to reinvent?
Yeah.
A lot of bullshit, and you kind of see it right away, and you say stuff, and they're kind of like, oh, well, who the hell are you? Or do they?
No, there's really people are figuring it out. There's a lot of guys that know what they're, guys and gals both, in there that are in it now. It's just a lot of people in a lot of areas, because the good thing about Facebook, I guess, is that it covers a lot of area all over the whole country. For the most part, even up in some of them up in Canada, even doing the volume stuff. But it's a changed market. That's one thing that's a problem, is because they're talking about rebate percentages or sales commissions, or the popular term is kickbacks, which is a whole different thing and bad connotations to that and all that. But a lot of places it varies. I mean, we got, like here in the South, it's 35% now. Seems to be what the organizations try to get out of people. That's off the top, and that's one reason I don't do that much of it anymore. But a lot of places, it's either 10% or 15 or zero. I mean, if you can get it at zero, that's good. But a lot of people don't really understand how the demographics of an area, affect all that kind of stuff, But it's a poison well kind of thing, Once it sort of gets its start somewhere, then over the years it'll pick up. And we just happened here in the South, where we had a lot of that kind of activity going for the fundraising for the organizations. It's changed. We've already hit the kind of the peaks, I think, and so we're having to try different things now to be able to get the business.
Because it seemed to me, from what I've seen you do, it seemed to be very much a specialty, and it sounds the way you're describing it. It's like it's got a low barrier to entry. But man, I look at the stuff and the tools that you use, and the posing strategies, and the lighting, and everything else. It's like, some of those posing benches that you've manufactured and purchased and repurposed. I mean, that stuff's pretty technical.
Yeah.
It's like, how can, like, do they got to go in there and do the same thing, or?
No, what they're doing now, the thing now is composite photography. That's what they're going and selling. It's a lot of graphics in it. And
Oh,
my stuff like you're showing is pretty straightforward, old school kind of things. Just you try to give
all right.
good lighting, good posing, and work on that. And now everybody's trying to do all this, and it's pretty
Yeah,
neat looking. It's a lot of flash
I
bang
know
with
what
the
you're talking
composites.
about. Yeah.
Shoot the pictures, strip them out, and then put another background on it, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what the hot thing
All
is
right.
in the market right now.
See, well, now that explains a lot of it. That explains a lot of it. But there's no demand for those large group shots that you do and all that sort of stuff.
In some areas there are. It's like I say, there's a photographer in North Carolina, John Payne.
Yeah.
He's still doing old school style work, like I do. He'd do a composite or something, do it for banners and blankets and some things like that, specialty items, but not for the whole school with everything. But a lot of photographers now that do the big schools and things, instead of doing it old school, stack them up on a bench kind of thing like we did. They're going in and just shooting everybody individually, and then getting in the computer and putting them all together, stack them up that
That's
way.
that's the way it is in that industry.
Yeah, it's changing.
No going back, I guess. Right? That's very similar. You're describing Danny Rabela
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
Danny's in a lot of those forums that I'm on too. But Danny's
Yeah.
Danny's still kind of more old school in a lot of ways, but he's just a hell of a marketer, and he's good at what he does.
Yeah, no doubt. He's on fire, that guy.
Oh yeah.
So what's your plans then, Neil? You just sort of going to ease out of that, just pick up whatever you can and go into, I don't know, get a rocking chair, sit your butt down on the porch.
I don't want to. I need to make some more money. I wasn't as smart as some folks are when you're making money, stack some of it back. I just rotated mine back into the business, and
Yeah.
I didn't save as much as I should have. But
Should have
I'm still
saved.
gonna try to do what I can.
How old are you now?
I turned 70 in January.
Oh, well, you're good for 20 more years.
I figure I got at least another 10 years anyhow.
Yeah. Well, you're looking good. I mean, a
Yeah,
little grayer, but
yeah.
yeah. So
Well, my
you're
doctor
still going to
tells
be
me
working.
yeah, I'm planning on it.
You don't have a pension, or they have old age security down there?
No, you got to put your own together. And I got Social Security,
Yeah.
and then whatever I can work, and that's it.
Yeah. All right. All
That's why
right.
I'm trying to find a few jobs and re-niche myself or something. I'm getting a little aggravated at some of the T&I jobs that I've been doing because the volume's going down as far as the sales, and the
Yeah.
kids are getting harder to handle, and it's just a herding cat kind of thing. Just about everywhere I go seems like. And there's a few, I had a good job every now and then and make a pretty good lick on it. But a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff I'm having to work more, work
Yeah.
harder, make less money in the long run kind of stuff.
You ain't throwing in the towel.
Nope, I ain't throwing in the towel. I'm still got a lot going on, and I'm learning the new stuff. I'm trying to
Yeah.
keep up with that, and a lot of new software and stuff, and even the new Photoshop that the upgraded the 2018 version has a really nice extraction tool in it now.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I
If
didn't know that.
you're
You know
not
what
on
I
the
got
CC
real
version,
excited about with that new version? You know, it really turned me on. I couldn't believe this. It's the stupidest thing. The brushes.
I'm waiting. The brushes.
The brushes. So it was so exciting. There's a lady who had Creative Live did a presentation with her on brushes. I think she's from California. I bought it 4 weeks ago. I said, I got to buy this. And she's going on about how exciting the brushes are. And I'm like, oh, geez, it's not just me, man. This is real exciting. It sounds so stupid, but it's true. The brushes have been so frustrating. And just that one simple change, what they did, the way you can now work the brushes, it's just exciting. It sounds really stupid, but it is. But Neil, you look at guys like Randy, who's like reinventing himself and busy, and you kind of go, well, yeah, that's the kind of energy, right? That's the kind of sort of direction one needs to go into. And I look at guys like that, and you apply that sort of ideology in any area at any stage in life, and you say, okay, it doesn't matter. You keep your the principles are the same, right? You want to learn, keep learning, Some people would say, well, hell, I'm 70 years old, man. I can't do this anymore. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. I say that because I'm right on your heels, man. I'm turning 60 next summer. But I'm learning. I'm learning all the time. You know, I flew down to Costa Rica, and the whole way down, I'm watching Creative Live videos. And on the way back, I'm doing the same thing. I do that all the time. I'm always learning because I want to stay on top of things. And because here's the thing, though. I don't know if there's a missing link for you or whatever. I look at a guy like Randy, and I see, well, geez, the guy's got a bit of a golden horseshoe up his ass because everything seems to fall into place. Or is that bullshit because you're just like working? Well, Randy, no, I mean, I'm okay. It's not, maybe a little bit, just very small amount. But you work hard. You work hard at it, right?
Yeah.
And you create your own opportunities. So. But let me ask you this, Neil. All that being said, do you agree or do you see, like, you know how opportunities show up because we're sort of prepared is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Do you feel that? Or do you sometimes feel resentful and bitter and you sometimes struggle with that?
No.
Because I see that. I see that with other photographers, by the way. You
really?
know, and I say, man, you can't be that way. You got to be open. You got to be open. You got to keep growing.
No, you gotta figure out the rope-a-dope. You know, I mean, if something's not working, you know, try something else. But I think it's whatever that inner drive kind of stuff is that you have is what makes a difference. I mean, just watching like people like Randy and Batman, Danny and Warren and all these people that have kind of sort of fallen into it backwards a little bit, you know, and all of a sudden they pick up, they see an opportunity and they get an idea and they go out there and they try something. I am amazed at how quickly people go from where Randy was photographically, for instance, just 6-7 years ago to where he is now. And I mean, hell, he's doing stuff that I never would have thought about doing during that same kind of a rise in my career. You know, I think it's been great what people do, but it's you know, you kind of got to be ready for the opportunities, you know, and get yourself in the right position. But the biggest thing that I see and the biggest mistake probably I made really is in the marketing. You know, looking at it now, I wish I had more marketing skills. In fact, the best years of my business that I had financially was when my son, I got him to come to work with me, and he's the one that went to college and got the business degree. And so he changed everything around back in the early 90s, and boy, we were going gangbusters for 15 years.
Yeah.
And of course,
marketing ain't that hard.
Yeah, but you got to have a kind of
common sense
interest in it. You know, I'm an artsy fartsy guy, you know, and I don't really.
Randy, what are your thoughts on that marketing? What's your take on what Neil's saying?
Neil's lazy. We don't like it.
So he's actually got a wheel rocking chair.
Marketing, and I think marketing takes on many forms. Sometimes marketing is being sure you're at the right place to run into the right person at lunch so you can have a 30-second conversation with them.
Yep.
And sometimes marketing is an email blast, and sometimes marketing's a big display in the mall. I mean, it takes on so many different variations. Sometimes marketing is helping out a competitor. There's lots of ways to look at it, but
yeah, I think the underlying thing is that you got to be willing and eager and just go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you got to be prepared for it as well. I mean, that's one of the things you got to know the technical aspects of whatever it is you're trying to do, or be willing to learn it as you go. I mean, I guess that video thing is kind of like that for you, Randy. You know, you weren't trained at all in any of that kind of stuff yet. You know, you picked it up and figured it out, and you know, that's the kind of stuff you got to be ready for.
And I do really enjoy that because it's something different, and it's, you know, I got to sit down and I got to read and I got to watch seminars and tutorials and scream at the computer every now and then and that sort of stuff.
So Neil, do you see anything happening down the road or in the immediate near future insofar as possibilities or opportunities or
for the industry in general, or me in particular?
For yourself, yeah.
I don't really know right now. I'm kind of looking around to sort of see what direction to go with some stuff. I'm trying to, I guess, kind of find another niche if I can, and use what I've got to help me get there. You know.
Yeah. That's a
not
journey.
sure exactly. Yeah, it is.
That's a valid journey, man. You got your radar on, and you're looking.
And I'm going back. I'm shooting another wedding in May up in Randy's neighborhood, and the first time I've done a wedding in about 5 years. You know, I swore off of them after that Groomzilla episode I had a few years ago, and I mean, it's not a high dollar wedding at all, but it's just kind of dipping my toe in the water again, and seeing if I can't find another way to approach that particular discipline, and maybe there's a way I can do this, kind of like you doing the little interview type things. It's not super fancy kind of stuff with video, but at the same time, you know, it's a way to, there might be a big market out there for something like that. I think we can make money.
I think it's imperative that you find a niche, and it can be a big niche or a little niche, but the smaller the niche is, the easier it is to do.
And that was true when I got into the T&I 20-something, hell, 30, back in the 80s, early 80s. And I was bouncing all over the place. I was, trying to be a commercial photographer because I had a studio with another guy, and we were doing all kind of things, but until I decided on a niche, that I said, this is going to be something, I'm just going to concentrate on this. And for a while, I'm not going to worry about anything else and not try to do everything, be everybody's photographer. Then that's when the business took off. And I think that's valid today. You just got to find something that fits your personality and skill set, that kind of stuff, and opportunities out there too.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, I hope, I hope the journey is fruitful for you, man. And ideas spring forth.
Well, it's a creative industry, so I mean, it's kind of built into their DNA. For your photographer, you're always going to be looking for something else, and what can I do well at? Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, in my studio, we evolved into the Fairy brand quite a big. That's really working out for us.
Yeah, I'm liking that new stuff you got going too. That's pretty cool. The ice fairies.
That is just blasted off. It's just like, I had no idea it was going to be that big a hit. So we're brand new in that. And of course, we're doing the medieval theme too.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we haven't announced that as an event yet, but we're planning on it. We put it in the daytimer, scheduled it, but we're doing ice fairies next. And then we're going to do medieval, and then we're going to do traditional fairies. And we're thinking of going into 3 looks for fairies: ice, summer fairies, and spring fairies. Would it be all one of those hoops or a swing, all flowers. So 3 brands would be totally different. There's riches and niches, and you got to keep evolving. And
Ooh, I like that.
Well, it's true, and I talk to people in my community all the time, and I tell a lot of people who've been around here for decades or grew up here, and I'm like, do you remember when there used to be 15 photography studios? And they're like, yeah. And I'd be like, they're all gone, all of them. I'm the only guy standing. So in that sense, I'm a bit of a niche too, because I'm niched now as the only studio. It was kind of just not a thing that I pursued. It just kind of happened, and it just sort of evolved. But it's exciting. So interesting conversation. So Randy, you were going to say something a minute ago. I saw you nodding.
Go over to my Sartin photo site. Scroll. I don't think you scrolled down and looked at some of the other stuff I've been doing.
Randy Sartin or Sartin photo?
Sartin photo.
Here.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Holy jeez, look at that. Is that what's his name right here?
Yeah, that's Mikey.
That's Mikey, the magician.
Yeah, I used him again last week, I think. Yeah, I used him. He helped me on one of the video shoots.
Nice. In Knoxville. He lives there too, right? Do you see Andy Armstrong at all? Because he lives in Knoxville.
No, I've talked to him or text him occasionally, but he's pretty much backed off a lot of what he was doing too. So.
Yeah, I talked to him about 3-4 months ago. I bought some software for him and it got lost, and I tried to dig it back out and it wasn't active. So he got online somewhere and pulled it back out for me, and I got it back up and active. But I talked to him for a while then, and he said he's mostly just working with his company that he's art director or whatever it is he does over there.
Yeah.
Oh, design guy or something. He's not. I don't think he's doing much photography anymore at all.
No, he's not.
So this is a large part of what this is one of your big clients right here.
Yeah, that's the big fitness client. Yeah.
Are they a national, international?
They are, depending on how you look at the numbers, they are largest fitness equipment manufacturer in the United States.
No kidding. And are they out of Knoxville or?
Correct.
Pardon?
Correct. Yes.
Who knew?
Yeah,
are these the guys that are doing the seminar out west or something? Is that the kind of the company you're talking about for that conference you're going to?
Yeah, they're going to it. It's called the IRSHA conference. It's just the biggest fitness industry trade show of the year. Yeah.
So they're doing lots of CrossFit. That's a big industry, man.
That guy right there, his name's Yancey Copeland, is one of the coolest dudes in the world. You would love him. This guy actually took acting classes to get over his shyness. And I told him about you and Toastmasters. And
I rejoined Toastmasters 6 months ago.
He's a personal trainer for the top OCR athletes. So
cool.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff.
You meet a lot of people in this job, don't you?
Yeah, I love it.
It's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I rejoined Toastmasters, and they got everything. It's all high tech now. It's all online. They got everything on this new thing called Pathways. It's all on the cloud. No more manuals. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna sign up online, and I did. And I did my first speech in the new series 7 weeks ago, and I did such a good job. Everybody was blown away. I was really happy. And I'm like taking on this challenge. Okay, I've done Toastmasters for so long. I could say, let's rest on my laurels, but I'm not gonna. I'm like, okay, where's it gonna go now? Where's it gonna go now? I'm just pushing down that road. It's kind of weird because if I'm in the advanced level of Pathways, but you still have to do what's called an icebreaker. You got to introduce yourself, and that's the speech I did. And I got to admit, I did a good job. And the president came up to me afterwards, and he says, Rob, I got an offer for you. I'm going down to Los Angeles to this 3-day conference. I paid $997, and I got a free pass. If you want it, it's yours. So I signed up, and I'm flying down there day after tomorrow. It's this weekend coming up. So I'm going to be in Los Angeles. And it's really cool. Because first thing I did was I went home and I checked the flights, and I couldn't believe it. 600 Canadian to fly from my city to Toronto direct to LA, and back. $600. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm going to San Diego and back for like $5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not direct. As 2 flights?
Yeah, I think I'll go hang out in Dallas for an hour.
So that's like 800 Canadian. Is that far?
Coast to coast.
Yeah, so you're saying that's a good price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prices are dropping. It's crazy. So, anyways, that was sort of like a big factor in whether or not I was going to go. But a large part of it too was I had been looking the last 6 months for something new. We just talked about that, Neil. You got your radar on.
Got it.
Sometimes you never know how it's going to show up, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is it. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to just show it to you guys. I think his name is Roger Love. He's a voice coach. Named
Adam Love.
All right. This guy is a voice coach. He's trained some of the biggest musicians and actors in the world. There he is.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. It's a 3-day conference. Speak like a pro. Sing. I don't want to go to sing, although I do sort of sing and play the guitar, but that's my main thing is like, all right, I don't know what I'm getting into. So I watched a bunch of videos and I sort of get a sense of what it's all about, but mostly I have no idea what I'm getting into. But what I'm saying is, there it is. It showed up. Ain't going to cost me a whole lot of money, and we'll see what comes of it. I'll report back to you guys later.
See if you can find anybody there who can teach me how to speak where people can understand.
Move up north for about 10 years. It'll mellow out.
You're not talking about your accent, are you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about your accent.
I don't.
You guys speak very, very well. You guys speak very, very good. I remember Neil, he was always correcting everybody in his grammar. You have superpowers when it comes to your grammar.
Well, I can do it if I write it, but when I talk it, I'm like Randy.
Yeah. Well, I think your voice, both you guys, your accents, I mean, for you guys down there, it's common. So, but for us guys who don't hear it all the time, it's, I think it's kind of cool. And, you know, it's kind of, I don't know what it is. It's, oh brother, where art thou kind of,
I really like that movie.
I'm a man of constant sorrow.
There you go.
But no, it's a cool accent. I mean, I think if you were to rate accents on listenability and whatnot, it's right up there. So yeah, it's all good, man. So all right, let's it's been an hour and 20 minutes. What do you say we close this thing up? Time flies, eh?
Wow,
we should do it again. We should do it again in a month or two. We'll get James on board and just shoot the shit.
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
like it. Got all he's good for.
It's fun. It's fun to talk and connect. And I record it. I put it on the blog. And if anybody wants to listen to it, if they don't, whatever. I don't care.
I like to. I mean, it's good to go back and watch it, you know, and listen to stuff when you've got a leisure time. I mean, a lot of times it's nighttime things when they're on. It's kind of hard to make it out here, but it's great that they're on the forum there, and you can just kind of come out in the middle of the day and turn it on and have a good hour and a half of conversation listening to it. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of ironic. James and I started No BS way back in the day, and it grew gangbusters, man. And then it sort of dissipated. It's because Facebook groups, right? But in all honesty, I gotta fess up. I've never liked the idea of a forum. Kind of ironic. So my thing was always like put on events and create products and create videos, because you know it was like, you know, I'm the guy who would buy the Anthony Robbins 30-day personal power thing and actually listen to all the cassettes and do all the work.
Yeah.
Or I'd buy the Creative Live thing and I'd watch it all and make notes. I make notes, you know, and I think that's a minority of people. But to get into a forum and or a Facebook, if somebody posts a question, it just drives me nuts. It just drives me batty because you get like 80 answers. Like
and 70 of them are wrong. And
it's like who's right and who's right, and then it becomes this big heated debate, or sometimes an argument if it can get political and whatnot. Yeah. But I don't know. There's just something about that's always driven me nuts. So I've always stayed away from Facebook groups. However, in the last couple of years, I did get in Jeff Lubin's because he's big into business and marketing. And but my favorite is Fuzzy. Y'all know Fuzzy Dunkel from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always posting stuff onto in the group, and it's just it's portraiture, you know, it's on location portraiture, and it's some of the best I've ever seen. I gotta say, in my opinion, it is the best I've ever seen.
I think Mikey's in that group.
There's a Outside the Box, I think, is one of those forums.
I just joined that one last month.
That's a good. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but it's loaded with people. There's like 15,000 members or something like that.
Yeah, I just cruise through that one. I don't really contribute anything on that one because there's a lot of people on there better than me, and I don't have the little weekly contest things that they have. You know, post something with profiles this week, and some shiny hair the next or whatever it is that they do. But I enjoy looking at it. Get some good high quality work on there.
Yeah. I kind of do the same thing. So I sent Fuzzy an email a couple months ago, and I'm like, you ought to do an online coaching thing. You ever heard of Patreon?
Yeah.
Patreon. It's you go whatever. You could be a musician, you could be a writer, you could be any kind of a creator, and you just put up a site. You can have different levels. Give me $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever, and you get, it's like a membership site of sorts for creators. I was telling Fuzzy, I said, you should do that, man. I'd sign up. $20 a month, just do it. But I couldn't talk him into it. I just think he's got such value. He just puts everything for free in Facebook. And the reason I say that is because I'm like, he's got to be about 66 years old. And I get a sense that, he wants to have some sort of a retirement fund going on. So there you go, Neil. You could do a Patreon thing. You just got to create something.
Yeah. Maybe something that'll kick in. Who knows?
Yeah. So, but
USA Today's senior NASCAR rider, his name's Jeff. He decided he wanted out of that business, or wanted to go out on his own, and he did a Patreon thing.
He did?
Yeah. And he's
hold on. Did you say a writer or a writer?
Writer.
All right.
Yeah.
Because your accent threw me off. It could have been a writer. Yeah.
Newspaper guy.
Got it.
But anyway,
cool.
Yeah. He already had a big following on social media and stuff, and he just threw it out there. And everybody's, oh, heck yeah. And he's like, $1 a month, $5 a month, I don't care. And last season was his first full season doing that, and it was a huge success.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's he creating?
Huh?
What's he creating?
He writes a blog and posts on social media about NASCAR races. He travels to all the races.
Right. So he's like a journalist.
Yeah, he is a journalist. Yes, exactly.
And people support him. He's probably earning a living doing that through that means. There you go, man. It's awesome, man. That did not exist 5 years ago.
Right.
I've gotten interested in tractors lately for whatever reason. I want a tractor, and I ran across something about 2 weeks ago on YouTube about this guy that's got I think it's Outside with the Morgans or something, and it was a YouTube channel, and I just saw a couple of things on it, and I went over there and looked at it, and this guy's he's been posting YouTubes for about 4 months, I think, actively. Right. He'd actually been on a little longer, but he's only been actively doing it for about 4 months. He does everything outdoors. He got a Kubota L3901 tractor, and he does weed eating, and he shoots guns, and he flies drones, and he's got this video camera that he does the best thing. He puts these little anywhere from 5 to 15-minute videos up.
Right.
I've been watching that instead of reading books lately, but he has gone in 4 months' time from less than 1,000 subscribers to over 18,000.
Well, what is it about it?
Well, it's the guy's just really likable. He's in Western Pennsylvania. I thought he was a Southerner because he sounded a lot like us, and he's just a regular guy. And he built a little bit like I am with a bit of a belly on him and stuff, but he loves to cut wood for firewood and stuff, and got all kind of stuff in there. Yeah. He relates to people really well. And the funny thing about it is he's just recently in the last 2 weeks, some people that make tractors, or actually said Rural King, RURALKING.
Yeah. We just got
it's an outfit. We don't have one here in Georgia, but they've just come out with it's like Tractor Supply or something. They've just come out with a tractor that they make, and they gave this guy this huge tractor, and they got 3 more tractors and just tons of implements and plows and just all kind of stuff to go with it. And they said, just use it, make your videos like you normally do with that Kubota and whatever. He's got like 90 acres of land that he maintains, and the guy's got a regular job somewhere else. I don't even know what he does, but he comes in the evenings and puts up a little video using one of these little Sony. It's a fancy GoPro. It's got image stabilization. He's got a GoPro in there, but he likes that better. but his videos are great, and he's and evidently just the kind of personality he's got. It's gone from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour right now, and all this stuff going on. Yeah, he found a niche in the market. He's probably going to make some money on it besides getting all those free tractors and stuff to use for.
No doubt. So his main subject is tractors.
Well, no, it's outdoors. Tractors is the big thing, but he likes to cut wood. He talks about chainsaws, and he rifles and guns and building things and tractors.
How do we find him, Neil?
Outdoors. He's either on Facebook or YouTube. Outdoors with the Morgans. Morgans. That's where it is. And
Rural Supply will change. Rural King will change your life.
Really? It looked, if what I saw, pictures he posted of it, it looks great, There it is. But the same concept is in there. Yeah, that's him right there in the circle with his wife. Best website. I mean, I've wasted more hours in the last 2 weeks on that. He's got 131 videos he's put up since last year, and I've looked at 78 of them so far.
Yeah. You're nuts, man. You're nuts.
I know it, but I love it. I love it. That's the kind of stuff I like.
Oh, there he is with the Rural King tractor.
Yep. Oh, look at that stack of wood he's got right there. The guy knows how to stack firewood.
He does.
He loves to cut down trees and make firewood out of it.
You ever watch this guy? You ever watch this guy? Primitive Technology.
No.
Look at the views.
Oh gosh. Where is that?
It's primitive. Go watch it. It's addictive. It's similar. 5,180,000 views. He'll show you how to make a chair, a hut, a well, with nothing. Just he goes in the woods, in the jungle, nothing.
What's the name of this? Primitive Technology, WordPress.com.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's like, whoa. There's all kinds of stuff like that on YouTube. It's just amazing. But tractors, see, you could do something similar.
That's kind of why I've gotten addicted to it and looking at it. I said, there's a kernel of something here. I don't know what it is, but if this guy can do it, hell, I could do it too if I just find the product, the niche, the whatever,
Well, let's say you found a guy like that, but he had no interest in doing videos. Well, you could go up to him and say, I'll tell you what, I'll produce it and everything. I'll just come by a couple times a week and I'll make it interesting. I believe they got to be short, 5 to 10 to 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they got to have something about them that's interesting.
They are. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. And he's got a theme into it. And you can kind of, what I love is watching him evolve in his craft right here. And he does iMovie, and he does that little Sony thing, and he's got a GoPro. And he's a pretty decent photographer on his own. I mean, he's taken some trips out west, and I've seen his photographs and things too. But
you ever watch Uncle Rob?
Uncle Rob? No, I never heard of that.
You gotta go watch Uncle Rob.
Oh my God, Rob! It's on the screen.
Doing arts and crafts.
Is that Uncle Rob? Uncle Rob.
Rob, yeah.
All right. You got to go watch him. The way he talks, he says how to fix a broken internet, and he always says first you got to do this, and then you got to do this, and then it always ends up when he puts it in a bucket and he blows it up. You got to go check it out. You're gonna split your gut laughing.
Gotta love the internet, I tell you.
See, there he goes. He's filling that bucket.
Gas? What?
Boom! Everything gets blown up. You got to go check it out. It's a good laugh.
Uncle Rob. I'm putting that one down. Is that a YouTube as well? Yeah.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right.
I love this guy. How to sing a song just like Nickelback, and he hates Nickelback. Obviously, you fill the guitar full of gas at the end, you blow it up.
When are you going back to Costa Rica?
I just got back, so next winter.
Next winter, okay.
Maybe this summer, if I can sneak away for a week or two. But the last year I only went for 3 weeks, and it's been a hard year because of some other stuff that was going on. And my wife went for 7 weeks, and So we got to sort of like take it 1 year at a time now. I mean, life could be so rough, right? Not complaining.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you never know. We might end up moving there. And I was like thinking that if I move down there, I gotta open up a business. I got to do something. I can't sit around on the beach all day. And I might open a photography studio. It's kind of weird. You guys remember Ricky from Venezuela?
Yeah.
Right. All right. I interviewed him. Did a webinar 4 months ago.
Yeah.
He's alive and kicking, man. He's in Colombia.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. He's all over Instagram.
He's in Colombia. His wife's Colombian, so he got out of Venezuela. Smart move.
Which is good.
Yeah. I was having trouble there.
Yeah, he moved to Colombia, and he's a really good photographer, as you know, mostly babies and families. And he started following on Instagram these big pop stars. There's a lot of music in Colombia, and he hit one of them up. He noticed they had a baby. He said, bring him in for pictures, and did a free shoot, and that just blew his business up.
Oh, heck. Yeah.
Just like that. Anyways, when he saw the ice ferries I was doing, he contacted me. He's just like, oh, I like that. I want to do that. And I'm thinking, holy shit, if he's thinking about doing something like that in Colombia, definitely would fly in Costa Rica. And then I was thinking about that some more, and I'm like, yeah, between the expats, the locals, Costa Rica is considered third world. A lot of those countries are, but there's like high-end third world. It's not really. There's still a lot of professionals. They have a lot of colleges and universities. Everybody's educated. There's a good infrastructure. It's just third world compared to North America. And in many ways, when I come back home from Costa Rica, I get disgusted at modern society and how everybody drives everybody drives everywhere, and everybody they just look out of shape. And, we're always indoors, and everything's inside walls, and modern civilization looks good, but is it? Especially after you spend any amount of time down in Costa Rica, where it's a completely different lifestyle.
And the cost of living is a whole lot less down there too, isn't it?
It can be quite high, or at least the same as North America.
Really?
Yeah, it can be. But if you're smart about it, it's not that bad. But what's good about it is they got a lot of markets, a lot of farmers. You go to the market and there's fresh everything, literally picked that day or the day before. I mean, how can you can't beat that. So, nothing's wrapped in plastic, and then nothing's all sterilized the way it is up here when you buy shit at Costco. So it's pretty fresh. So that's good. That's good, man. That's good for the health. That's wholesome. And, and there's a big medical tourism business, dental tourism business, plastic surgery and all that stuff, cosmetic surgery. A lot of that, and as well as ecotourism. So there's a lot of people going down there. So there's money there, and there's also people who are educated in those areas, like Costa Ricans. They have money. They would spend on their kids. So in my little town where we're at, Tamarindo, it's just bustling with tourists. But I noticed when I was there in the last 3 weeks, there's 2 kids stores. I never noticed that before, and I'm like, oh wow, well why there's 2 like for clothing and toys and shit? I'm like, they must be. They've been there for a while. I mean, somebody's buying stuff for their kids, and that's where I'm thinking maybe I might, if I do go down there, open up a little gallery, photography business, sell prints, and do portraits that are very, very artsy fartsy in the sort of fairy realm. Who knows?
Yeah, sound like an opportunity waiting anyway.
Who knows. That's the long answer to your question. If I'm going back to Costa Rica, sorry, I kind of derailed it there.
My preacher's daughter married a guy from Costa Rica, and she moved down there. And then I have a fairly recent addition of a Filipino daughter-in-law.
You do?
I do, yeah. She's from the Philippines. And,
nice.
She's a blast. So.
Yeah.
Other side of the world, but still
it's far away.
Yeah.
Filipinos are really nice people. Well, Costa Ricans are too. And people from Georgia and Tennessee.
And Canada.
And Canada. Well, it's debatable.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's wind it up before I get into politics, and that will not be a pretty picture.
I'll hang up on that one. I don't want to talk politics anymore.
Let's not. So yeah, let's do it again. Maybe next month or 2 months from now or something like that. If you guys are on for it.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, I think James wanted to get in on this. He likes doing this sort of stuff, and he's always bugging me. Let's do a podcast. So you'll have a lot
I need
to
to
talk
talk to
about.
him about the trade show experience, how I need to approach that. I mean, it's not like you can just walk around and hand out flyers, because that ain't cool, because you're not an exhibitor. So
yeah. So you want to pick his brains on that. I want to find out more about, he was in Honduras, and I want to find out more about the cartel. There were some murders just around the corner from where he was shooting. I'm like, all right, tell me more. Do you get paid extra for danger?
it's in my contract, 10% for what is it?
Hazard pay?
No, it's a hazardous locations or something. They used it twice last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess you got to roll with it, and when it applies.
Yeah, when I came down to do the bridge thing in Atlanta, added it to that, and then I did a coal mine thing, added it to that. And
Did
then,
you come to Atlanta and do that job?
No, I went to Atlanta and didn't do that job.
Oh, you didn't do it. That's
no,
what I thought.
Yeah, they canceled
that's what I thought.
it.
Okay, yeah.
And I had it in my contract that they still had to pay 75% of it because they canceled it within 12 hours of doing it. So
yeah, I remember that.
So you showed up and it got canceled.
Yeah.
James got a lot of those stories. It frustrates the hell out of them because these large companies are disorganized.
Yeah, it is very accurate.
Shit happens. All right, I'm out of here.
All right, be good.
All righty. Good seeing you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you, love you, bye.
Okay.
Love you,
See you later.
Love
See
you
you
long
soon,
time.
Randy. Oh.
Keep it real, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.